Illinois Real Estate Exam Appraisal Questions. Question 1. Blair signs a non-exclusive buyer brokerage agreement and later asks why the writing matters. Which answer best fits exam-tested brokerage agreement principles during Harper's normal townhome file review? Option A. Written terms help define services, compensation, duration, and the parties' obligations. Option B. A brokerage agreement eliminates all disclosure duties. Option C. Oral promises always replace signed terms. Option D. A brokerage agreement transfers legal title to the broker. The correct answer is option A. Written terms help define services, compensation, duration, and the parties' obligations. Brokerage agreements define key business terms and help avoid disputes about services and compensation. They do not eliminate disclosure duties. Oral promises generally do not automatically replace signed terms, and the agreement does not convey title to the broker. Question 2. A property manager receives a residential tenant's security deposit from Riley. How should the funds be treated for licensing-exam purposes during Jamie's Carbondale small apartment building file review? Option A. Spend it immediately as management profit. Option B. Handle the deposit as money belonging to another party and account for it properly. Option C. Treat it as the broker's personal emergency fund. Option D. Refuse to keep any written record of the deposit. The correct answer is option B. Handle the deposit as money belonging to another party and account for it properly. Security deposits are funds connected to the landlord-tenant relationship and must be handled with proper accounting and legal care. Treating them as immediate profit, personal funds, or undocumented cash would create serious compliance issues. Question 3. A property is worth $313,000 and has a loan balance of $66,000. Approximately how much equity does the owner have during Rowan's Galesburg mixed-use storefront file review? Option A. $379,000. Option B. $66,000. Option C. $247,000. Option D. $250,400. The correct answer is option C. $247,000. Equity is the property's value minus debt secured by the property, so $313,000 minus $66,000 equals $247,000. The distractors add debt, report the loan balance, or use an unsupported percentage of value. Stressed about your Illinois real estate exam? We can take Illinois real estate exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. A sponsored licensee uses the team name River City Team in advertising. Which compliance concern should be checked first during Jordan's Moline vacant lot file review? Option A. Whether the team can operate without a sponsoring broker. Option B. Whether the team name creates automatic title insurance. Option C. Whether the team may set commission rates with competitors. Option D. Whether the team name and ad clearly avoid misleading consumers about the sponsoring brokerage. The correct answer is option D. Whether the team name and ad clearly avoid misleading consumers about the sponsoring brokerage. Team advertising must be clear enough that consumers are not misled about the brokerage relationship and sponsorship. A team does not replace the sponsoring broker, create title insurance, or justify antitrust violations. Question 5. The same brokerage may work with both Kendall and Harper in one transaction. Why must dual or designated agency issues be handled carefully during Casey's Quincy rental duplex file review? Option A. They can affect consent, confidentiality, and the duties owed to each party. Option B. They automatically cancel every contract. Option C. They eliminate all broker duties. Option D. They require the buyer and seller to use the same attorney. The correct answer is option A. They can affect consent, confidentiality, and the duties owed to each party. Representing or assisting both sides can create consent and confidentiality issues that must be handled according to law and brokerage policy. It does not automatically cancel contracts, eliminate duties, or force the parties to share legal counsel. Question 6. A buyer purchases for $375,000, makes a 30% down payment, and has $5,400 in closing costs. About how much cash is needed at closing before credits during Morgan's Waukegan Lakefront Cottage file review? Option A, $112,500. Option B, $117,900. Option C, $5,400. Option D, $369,600. The correct answer is option B, $117,900. Cash needed combines the down payment and closing costs, 30% of $375,000 plus $5,400 equals $117,900. The other choices omit either the costs or the down payment, or subtract costs from the price incorrectly. Question 7. A business offers to find apartments for renters in exchange for a fee. Why might Illinois licensing law be implicated during Taylor's Belleville Suburban Ranch home file review? Option A, rental minus finding services are always exempt regardless of activity. Option B, only sellers can trigger licensing law. Option C, rental minus finding services can involve regulated real estate activity when performed for compensation. Option D, the service becomes legal if no written records are kept. The correct answer is option C. Rental minus finding services can involve regulated real estate activity when performed for compensation. Rental minus finding and leasing minus related services may be regulated when performed for compensation. The activity is not automatically exempt, licensing law is not limited to sales, and failing to keep records does not cure an unlicensed activity issue. Question 8. A driveway crosses one parcel so a neighboring parcel can reach the road. Which property concept is most likely involved during Riley's Chicago Commercial Suite file review? Option A, fixture. Option B, novation. Option C, defeasance clause. Option D, easement. The correct answer is option D, easement. An easement gives a right to use another's land for a specific purpose, such as access. A fixture is attached property, novation substitutes a contract party or obligation, and a defeasance clause relates to mortgage satisfaction.
Are you looking for AccuPlacer exam actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access AccuPlacer exam study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get AccuPlacer exam answer key today.
Question 9. A rental property has NOI of $25,000 and a value estimate of $310,000. Approximately what capitalization rate is indicated during Avery's Springfield Farm parcel file review? Option A, 8.1%. Option B, 4%. Option C, 11.1%. Option D, 12.4%. The correct answer is option A, 8.1%. The capitalization rate is NOI divided by value, so $25,000 divided by $310,000 is about 8.1%. The other answers have the rate, add unsupported points, or invert the formula. Question 10. A consumer asks why a state real estate recovery fund might exist. Which purpose is closest during Cameron's Peoria single-family home file review? Option A, guaranteeing every buyer a profit on resale. Option B, providing a limited source of recovery for certain losses caused by licensee misconduct when statutory requirements are met. Option C, paying all ordinary home repairs after closing. Option D, replacing the need for broker licensing. The correct answer is option B, providing a limited source of recovery for certain losses caused by licensee misconduct when statutory requirements are met. Recovery funds are designed as limited consumer minus protection remedies for qualifying misconduct minus related losses. They do not guarantee investment profit, pay routine repairs, or replace licensing and discipline systems. Question 11. A homeowner challenges the assessed value used for property taxes. Which concept is being examined during Drew's Naperville 2-flat building file review? Option A, agency termination by death. Option B, a leasehold surrender. Option C, the assessment and property tax valuation process. Option D, escrow disbursement only. The correct answer is option C. Assessment and property tax valuation process. Property tax questions often focus on assessed value, tax rates, exemptions, and appeal procedures. Agency termination, lease surrender, and escrow disbursement are separate real estate topics. Question 12. A buyer obtains a loan of $192,500 on a property appraised at $250,000. Approximately what is the loan minus to minus value ratio during Hayden's Rockford condominium unit file review? Option A, 23%. Option B, 87%. Option C, 62%. Option D, 77%. The correct answer is option D, 77%. Loan minus to minus value is calculated by dividing the loan amount by the appraised value, $192,500 divided by $250,000, or about 77%. The other percentages confuse equity with LTV or use an incorrect numerator or denominator. Question 13. Riley has completed high school and wants a first Illinois broker license after finishing coursework in Bloomington. Which education path most directly satisfies the standard broker pre-minus license requirement during Parker's Bloomington Townhome File Review? Option A, 60 hours of broker pre-minus license topics plus 15 hours of interactive applied real estate principles. Option B, only a 15-hour leasing agent course. Option C, 45 hours of managing broker education without broker coursework. Option D, a continuing education course completed after licensure. The correct answer is option A, 60 hours of broker pre-minus license topics plus 15 hours of interactive applied real estate principles. Illinois broker candidates in the standard path complete 75 class hours made up of 60 hours of broker topics and 15 hours of interactive applied principles. A leasing course is for residential leasing agents, managing broker education is a different license path, and continuing education applies after licensure rather than before the broker exam. Question 14. A brokerage wants to operate a virtual office location for Illinois consumers. Which compliance focus best fits the licensing outline during Reese's Champaign Small Apartment Building File Review? Option A, avoiding all broker supervision because the office is online. Option B, registration, supervision, and public-facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Option C, replacing written brokerage agreements with website clicks only. Option D, advertising as an unlicensed technology company. The correct answer is option B, registration, supervision, and public-facing brokerage compliance for virtual or branch operations. Virtual or branch operations still require appropriate brokerage supervision and compliance with licensing rules. Being online does not remove supervision, written-agreement, licensing, or advertising requirements. Question 15. A borrower pays 2 discount points on a $245,000 loan. How much do the points cost during Alex's Joliet mixed-use storefront file review? Option A, $2,450. Option B, $5,900. Option C, $4,900. Option D, a different result not supported by the facts. 3. The correct answer is option C, $4,900. 1 discount point equals 1% of the loan amount, so 2 points cost 2% of $245,000, or $4,900. The other figures use too few points, only 1 point, or add an unsupported amount. Question 16. Parker failed one portion of the Illinois broker licensing exam several times during the eligibility period. After the 4th unsuccessful attempt, what must happen before testing again during Blair's Aurora vacant lot file review? Option A. The candidate may immediately test an unlimited number of times. Option B. Only the national portion must be retaken without additional education. Option C. The candidate automatically receives a leasing agent license. Option D. The candidate must retake the required broker pre-minus license education before retesting. The correct answer is option D. The candidate must retake the required broker pre-minus license education before retesting. Illinois exam rules allow broker candidates up to 4 attempts during the eligibility period. After a 4th failed attempt, the candidate must complete the required pre-license education again before retaking the examination. Unlimited attempts, partial automatic exemptions, and automatic licensure are not supported. Question 17. A buyer transfers contractual rights to another purchaser before closing, subject to the contract terms. Which concept is most likely being tested during Quinn's Evanston rental duplex file review? Option A, assignment. Option B, accession. Option C, this cheat. Option D, hypothecation. The correct answer is option A, assignment. Assignment involves transferring contract rights to another party when permitted. Accession concerns additions to property. Escheat transfers property to the state when no heirs exist, and hypothecation involves pledging property as security without giving up possession. Question 18. Drew negotiates the sale of another person's townhome for a promised fee. Under Illinois licensing principles, why would this activity generally require a real estate license? Option A. It is allowed without a license if the property is residential. Option B. It involves brokerage activity for compensation on behalf of another person. Option C. It is exempt whenever the fee is paid after closing. Option D. It requires only a notary commission instead of a real estate license. The correct answer is option B. It involves brokerage activity for compensation on behalf of another person. Negotiating real estate transactions for another person for compensation is a core licensed brokerage activity. Residential status, delayed payment, or holding an unrelated notary commission does not remove the need for the proper real estate license.
Stressed about your non-medical assistant exam? We can take non-medical assistant exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. A borrower asks about a USDA loan program during financing. Why might this appear on a licensing exam during Logan's Decatur Suburban Ranch Home File Review? Option A. Government loans never involve underwriting. Option B. Government loans automatically waive all closing disclosures. Option C. Government-related loan programs have eligibility, insurance, guarantee, or property-condition features that differ from conventional loans. Option D. Government loans transfer the seller's deed to the lender before closing. The correct answer is option C. Government-related loan programs have eligibility, insurance, guarantee, or property-condition features that differ from conventional loans. Government-related financing may involve special eligibility, insurance, guarantee, or property standards. These loans still involve underwriting and disclosures, and they do not transfer the seller's deed to the lender before closing. Question 20. Cameron wants to pay a sponsored Illinois licensee, Avery, directly for help with a purchase. How should compensation normally be handled during Kendall's Elgin Commercial Suite file review? Option A. The buyer may pay the licensee directly at any time. Option B. The title company must split the fee directly with the licensee. Option C. The licensee may accept a secret bonus if the transaction closes. Option D. The sponsored licensee should receive compensation through the sponsoring broker. The correct answer is option D. The sponsored licensee should receive compensation through the sponsoring broker. A sponsored licensee is normally compensated through the sponsoring broker rather than directly by the public. Direct payment, title-company fee splitting outside the broker relationship, and secret bonuses create licensing, disclosure, and compensation problems. Question 21. A buyer and seller sign a purchase contract with competent parties, lawful purpose, mutual assent, consideration, and a sufficient property description. Why is the contract likely enforceable during Harper's normal farm parcel file review? Option A. It contains the core elements generally required for a valid real estate contract. Option B. It is enforceable only if recorded before closing. Option C. It becomes a deed immediately when signed. Option D. It is void unless the broker drafted every paragraph. The correct answer is option A. It contains the core elements generally required for a valid real estate contract. A valid contract generally requires competent parties, mutual agreement, consideration, lawful purpose, and adequate written terms for real estate. Recording is not required for contract validity. A contract is not the same as a deed, and broker drafting is not the element that makes the contract enforceable. Question 22. During a first substantial discussion, Avery asks Riley whether the brokerage represents the buyer, the seller, or both. Why should the relationship be clarified early during Jamie's Carbondale single-family home file review? Option A. The relationship is irrelevant until after closing. Option B. Agency and brokerage relationships affect duties, confidentiality, and the consumer's expectations. Option C. A broker owes no duties until a deed is recorded. Option D. Agency disclosure is needed only for commercial leases. The correct answer is option B. Agency and brokerage relationships affect duties, confidentiality, and the consumer's expectations. Brokerage relationships determine duties such as disclosure, confidentiality, obedience to lawful instructions, and care. Waiting until closing, tying duties only to deed recording, or limiting disclosure concepts to commercial leases would leave the consumer without important relationship information. Question 23. A closing file includes a trustee's deed. Which distinction should an exam candidate focus on when comparing deed types during Rowan's Galesburg 2-flat building file review? Option A. All deed types provide identical title warranties. Option B. A deed is the same document as a mortgage note. Option C. The promises or warranties the grantor makes about title can differ by deed type. Option D. A deed never needs a grantor or grantee. The correct answer is option C. The promises or warranties the grantor makes about title can differ by deed type. Different deeds can provide different levels of title assurance, depending on the grantor's warranties. A deed is not a mortgage note, and valid deed analysis involves parties such as grantor and grantee as well as delivery and acceptance. Question 24. A buyer asks about neighbors dislike a former occupant, but there is no physical defect or legal restriction affecting the property. Why may this be treated differently from a material defect during Jordan's Moline condominium unit file review? Option A. Every rumor must be included in the deed. Option B. The broker must create a structural inspection report. Option C. The seller must lower the price by statute. Option D. Stigmatizing facts usually do not have the same disclosure treatment as physical or legal defects. The correct answer is option D. Stigmatizing facts usually do not have the same disclosure treatment as physical or legal defects. Stigmatized minus property issues generally differ from material physical defects or title/legal problems. Rumors do not belong in a deed, brokers do not create structural inspection reports, and statutes do not automatically set a required price reduction for a stigma. Question 25. Two owners are comparing tenancy in common with other ownership forms. Which exam skill is being tested during Casey's Quincy Townhome file review? Option A. Recognizing how ownership rights, survivorship, and transferability may differ by estate or tenancy. Option B. Assuming all co-owners must have identical inheritance results. Option C. Treating a tenancy as a mortgage loan. Option D. Using the ownership form to avoid all property taxes. The correct answer is option A. Recognizing how ownership rights, survivorship, and transferability may differ by estate or tenancy. Ownership forms can differ in survivorship rights, transferability, and the interests held by each party. They are not mortgage loans, do not guarantee identical inheritance outcomes, and do not eliminate property tax obligations.